Our guy buttoned up, always wearing the top button, looking so well. I've told you this before. I don't think I can be a top button guy. I can't.
You can. You're a coach. You can. You just got to have the. You got to have the guts to do it.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, I took a lot of flack at first from a lot of people. I got it like both ways. Some people were like, man, it's really cool you have a look and you're doing that. I had some nerdy white bosses at NBC, though, that were like, would you unbutton your button? And I was like, the day I listen to you about fashion will be never, so shut up. And no, this is what I wear it, so shut up. Don't tell me how to dress.
You know what's unbelievable is we see you out here on Radio Row, and you're a mainstay out here, and you're a rock star out here. We love the insight that you give, especially as a quarterback position. But my co-host here, Saul Bookman, gave me some insight on when you guys first met. So you got to tell Chris the first time you laid eyes on him.
Out at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
When you were there with Kliff Kingsbury, Seneca Wallace, and
right.
all those guys.
That crew. We had a good little class there for sure. Good guys. That was an interesting week. And I do remember, I mean, when I see him every year, I'm always like, we go way back. But, yeah, those are the good old days. They're long gone now.
A long time ago, yeah.
So we're out from the desert, right? And we see Kliff. I mean, what a offseason that man's been through. You know, obviously working with Caleb Williams and then, talking to Vegas, talking to Chicago at one point, talking to Philly at one point. He lands in Washington. And, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but from what we saw for 4 years in the desert, I just didn't see, the innovative playmaker that sometimes he's made out to be. What do you think the fit – how do you think the fit is in D.C. for Kliff?
I mean, I don't love it. I'm underwhelmed, right? I am. I'm underwhelmed by everything they've done. I mean, Dan Quinn, and I think your questions that you bring up about Kliff Kingsbury are very real and fair. Mm-hmm. We're not trying to be jerks.
Right.
I mean,
Great guy.
saw, right.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of a cap or a plateau in the offense every year because there's lack of, evolving imagination, versatility in the offense, right? So I would always on my podcast or with Florio on PFT would always be like, hey, it's week 9. Everybody's caught on to what Kliff Kingsbury and everybody are doing. It's not that complicated, right? So they're all over it. What's going to be the next move? And then, of course, you guys would kind of fall apart down the stretch and then not get in the playoffs and do all that. I'm shocked, right? I really am. I can't even believe it. I know he's been with all these great quarterbacks, right? Damn. I mean, but they don't ever win with any of them. Okay, that would be one thing I'll throw out there. And I know these quarterbacks like him because he's their buddy, right? Kliff is an awesome dude. And I'm saying some things here that I know are a little tough and controversial or whatever else. I get it. He probably won't like it if he heard it. I like a lot about Kliff. I know he knows how to relate to players and do all that. But at the same time, what I want to tell Caleb Williams or any other one out there going, your buddy as your head coach is not a recipe to beat Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. That's not what happens. Think about every great quarterback in time. I mean, Terry Bradshaw, he couldn't even get his coach to like him. He won 4 Super Bowls, and the coach was still like, you're a jerk. I mean, Bill Walsh benched Joe Montana in '88 for Steve Young for a few games, and then he came back in, and then there was always that, right? I mean, Jimmy Johnson was never cool with Troy Aikman. Right. He made it tough on him. Belichick and Brady, right? So that, to me, is the other thing where I see him get hired. Like, he's so good with the quarterbacks, and I'm going to be like, I get it, but I want the guy to be the coach. Shanahan's not like, hey, Brock Purdy, let's go have some beers and hang out and chill, bro. That's just not the way the world works. And that's what I don't understand sometimes right now in football.
In terms of the change now, we'll go back to what the Cardinals have right now and Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
The change at head coach with Jonathan Gannon, and now his progression at the end of this season. What did you like and not like about his progression in the last 4 games?
I mean, I liked it. I mean, again, I know people question, should we get rid of Kyler Murray? And you got a guy that's got some special skills about him. I just don't think you throw that out the door. You better have somebody that is going to knock it out of the park. Because guys like me, if you get rid of Kyler Murray and he goes and kills it somewhere, I'm going to throw it back in your face, Arizona Cardinals, and be like, what the hell? Build the damn team, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I talk. Everybody wants to, I want Mahomes, I want Elway. Yeah, there's 4 of those guys in the history of Earth, right? Build the damn team around him. Elway was better than Phil Simms. How did Phil Simms beat him? Right? Great team.
Yeah.
It's a team sport.
Yeah.
And that's where I like what Arizona's doing. Hey, I'm a big fan of the GM. I worked with him a little in New England.
Yeah.
Right? Awesome guy, understands the big picture. The head coach, I know he took a lot of flack. I like what he does. Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, right? That's all funny. But I like his coaching.
Yeah.
The O coordinator, Petzing, I think is very creative and has a physicality element to him. You got all these picks stockpiled, right? So I kind of like the where things are going for the Arizona Cardinals. And I wouldn't be shocked to see you guys trade down a little bit more, knowing Monty being from the New England thing and go, hey, I know we got 2 first-round picks, but damn, we could get 3 and, another one next year. And, they'll play the board the right way.
I mean, we talk about Kliff and maybe, I don't know, enabling might be too much, but it felt like there was a lot of hero ball that Kyler had to play early on. Now, Petzing, Gannon, they create that infrastructure.
Right.
What's the next step? How do you add to that infrastructure for Kyler to take his game to the next level?
Well, I think they got, like you're saying, the meat and potatoes of the offense down, right? And that's the number one thing. You got to have a core group of plays where you go, we're really good at these in a big moment. We don't know what the defense is going to do, but we're good at executing this play, and we'll call it and feel comfortable how to execute it against anything, right? So that's what I like. They've set a base. And then I think what happens at the end of the year, then they can start to go, ooh, Kyler does this well. Ooh, man, teams play us like this when Kyler and we're in this formation and doing this. And I think they'll just add to the repertoire, right? And that's what good OCs do. It doesn't always need to be complicated. Think about Sean McVay and what they do. Outside zone, fake the speed sweep, outside zone. Fake the speed sweep, fake the outside zone, play action pass. Fake the speed sweep, fake the play action pass, throw a screen back to the running back. It's like 7 plays that he just packages really well together to keep you off balance, has checks and balances and all that. And I feel like that's where the Cardinals are going to go.
Sometimes, you look at a player that's either a free agent or in the draft, and you think, man, he would be a good player for X team because of the fit, the scheme, and everything. Is there a player out there that's going to be a free agent or is in the draft that you think would be a good fit for Arizona?
I know. I'm not there yet, right? Okay. I'm still so much in this season mode. Sure. I got to kick. My world flips over next week because NBC will literally be like, so tell us who's the number 1 quarterback in the draft. And I'll be like, can I have 4 days before I can make a grandiose assessment on the whole draft here, right? So I know that's where my life's going. I think bottom line, just to dive into it, I look at probably need another shutdown corner, need another pass rusher for sure, if not 2, maybe 1 in free agency, 1 in the draft, right? I think that's where I look at it. Maybe another offensive lineman to go in the group. I think those are the 3 spots that jump out to me. The receivers, I think, are sneaky under the radar good. I love the Stanford kid.
Wilson,
I love him. Okay.
Yeah.
I think if he wasn't hurt in college, he would have been a first-round pick. He just was hurt for 2 out of his 3 years. And a receiver is probably another guy in the repertoire there because Hollywood Brown's a free agent,
right?
Yeah,
they've got 3 guys under contract. It's Mike Wilson, it's Rondell Moore, and then Zach Pascal, who's more of a special teamer.
Right.
4th
they need
overall,
another guy.
There's a guy at Columbus who's pretty good.
You're right. That would make a lot of sense. No doubt about it.
Let me ask you this. You always are great with your quarterback rankings. Where would you put Kyler Murray now? You've always been real kind to Kyler. I think you've had him as high as 7,
I think I had 7 the highest.
Yeah.
Right.
Where would you put him now? And maybe who's a quarterback that would surprise everybody else that you would put him ahead of?
Well, I look at it. I think he's, of course, top half of the league still, right? And that to me is where Kyler's gotten exposed is maybe playing style of football at some points that wasn't conducive to helping Kyler. Oh, we're going to be in the shotgun. We're going to drop back every play, and you know where we're going to be. And now the pocket's going to collapse, and I'm going to look small in the pocket, right? That's not the way the game should be for him all the time, right? And I think that's where the ball has been dropped a little bit, and we don't even get to see the full scope of his talents because he's over, shotgun, we're going to spread the field, and we're just going to let our athletes do it. Get the hell out of here. There's got to be more than that to the game,
right?
Okay? You're seeing the 49ers, they never get in the spread. They're 2 tight end, 2 running backs, right? Motions everywhere. So I got off track there.
I love it.
Has the potential, though, certainly top 6, 7, that kind of guy. I think right now, though, probably right around 12,
If somebody was dangerous enough to give you the keys to a franchise, though, and they said, you pit him against a guy that's high up your rankings that you would take Kyler over. Is there anybody a Jalen Hurts or anybody that you would say, I got to think real hard about this?
Well, that'd be one of them for sure. Yeah, I don't think you heard me talk yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, Jalen Hurts is. I respect a lot about Jalen Hurts, but I think Jalen Hurts is also like the most overrated player in football. All right, that's me. I know I'm wrong. I take a lot of crap about that comment, but you know, it's a. He plays quarterback for a team that's an all-star team. Yeah. They have the best O-line in football. It's not even close, right? They got maybe the best duos at receiver in all of football, right? I just think if you put some other quarterbacks in Philly, you put Kyler Murray there, you'd go, damn, Kyler's amazing. Is he the MVP of football? And I think we lose sight of all of that a little bit. Again, it gets into the quarterback team thing where right now we're all about the quarterback. And, he'd be one of those guys that I certainly would go, hey, when Kyler's on his game, he is every bit in the class of Jalen Hurts, in my opinion.
You know, you talked a lot about mechanics yesterday when we were over here, and I was blown away by that. When you look at Kyler's mechanics, you know, obviously a smaller guy's got to get a lot of heat on that ball to get it deep. He's had trouble with the deep ball in the last year and a half. What do you think about Kyler's mechanics, and where can he improve at maybe?
He does a lot of good things. He's a natural thrower, right? I mean, he's one of those guys that I think can pick up any object and we go, damn, that was a good throw, right? Doesn't matter, baseball, whatever, skipping rocks on a lake, whatever, he could do that. Where I look at him, because the Sims family's very into quarterback technique and stuff. My dad and my brother work with a lot of big-time quarterbacks and do this kind of stuff. He lets his arm get too long at times, and I think it's his baseball background, right? And you can have a longer motion. Like Mahomes sometimes has a longer motion, but if you ever notice, and people need to be watching this a little bit, Mahomes never lets this angle in his arm break. So even when he's sidearm, it's still like this. It never gets straight, right? People whose arm gets straight are like Tim Tebow, and you go, well, I don't know why he can't control the ball. And I want to be like, because you're not supposed to throw a football like that. Like, he's like a windmill. That doesn't work. Kyler does let his arm get a little long at times. He's super talented and has a great hand, and he gets away with it. But I do think it's hard to replicate that motion all the time and be a machine. To where I would go, if I could work with Kyler, who I got a lot of respect for and really like as a guy too, you know, I would go, just tighten it up a little. If you tighten it up a little bit, it'll give you more control. And honestly, you think because it's longer, I can get more power, you'll have more power with the tighter motion. And that would be the one thing I kind of look at him mechanically.
Fantastic.
You're so gracious with your time. I want to get you out on this. Mike Florio in the Arizona Cardinals fan base, your co-host.
Mike Florio in a lot lot of fan bases.
True. Okay. Very true.
He's snarky, jerky.
Yeah, he had a hard on for us last year.
You think he's coming around on Gannon and crew?
Well, I think, the Gannon not answering questions, I think, that irks a guy like Mike. Because he's just like, what? You're supposed to. That's the rules of the NFL. And, we'd all like to see
tampering, his maybe tinfoil hat comes up. Like, what else happened? Yeah.
Well, and then where I love Mike, right, is he will attack owners if he doesn't think they're running an organization the right way, treating people the right way. And I think that's where, when it came out with the reports about your guys' weight room and the mess hall and all of that, that's where Florio then goes into like sixth gear and he's like, we got to teach them a lesson out there. And he is good that way in a lot of ways. But I'm sure there's some fans out there like, but he shut up and stop attacking our team.
The comment section right here is getting real nasty about Florio.
He likes to play the villain, but is he coming around?
I think so.
Okay.
I think he is. I mean, he hears me all year going, hey, this Pets thing, hey, Gannon and his defense. Mm-hmm. And then you can't deny the way the team played, being undermanned, games you're supposed to lose, you kept it close, beating Philly late in the year. I mean, there's some things there that even if he wanted to be snarky, he went, oh, damn, it looks good.
Like to get off McCoy, a Texas guy like yourself, great career, but like Dobbs gave them a better opportunity, and people saw that and like, oh, that's an egregious, tank job right there.
I know. He's always
and it's
looking.
Not just Mike.
No, a lot of people. That's again, we're in the conspiracy world, and everything's a setup now, and it's just it never ends, right? So he can be a little bit a part of that as well. And I don't, sometimes. It's easy to second guess. He was ready to give Dobbs a $150 million contract after the second game in Minnesota because he's a Vikings fan, right?
Oh, okay.
And I was like, Mike, there's a reason he's been on like 8 teams in 2 years. This is all going to come back to earth. Like, settle down a little bit.
That's unreal. That's unbelievable. You do great work. We love it. I watch it on a daily basis.
Thanks a lot, guys.
TFT Live, NBC Sports. Chris Sims. So gracious with time. Just a wealth of knowledge. Thanks so much,
I
man.
appreciate it, man.
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
Enjoy
you guys
the
are a
rest
lot
of
of
time out
fun.
here in
Appreciate
Vegas.
it. Good stuff.